button. Okay, there we go.
We there, son. I got you.
All right. Yeah, now
Yeah.
I
See,
hear you now.
I can hear you perfectly fine now, son.
Oh, okay, yeah. I can hear you
Yeah,
too.
good. It's much. Yeah, it's much better. It's much better on the
On the
laptop. I don't know
laptop.
what's up with the phone. Yeah, yeah,
Word.
yeah. But gee, listen, a lot I want to talk about, a lot to go over. Listen, I just lost another friend due to fully vaccinated, but you catch corona and die. I've been having conversations with people, man, and I think what we were talking about is what it is. It's literally there. It's what Elon and what he said. They're telling this RNA messenger to do to weaken you towards the corona. Then you catch it, die. They're
Facts.
they're controlling the narrative with that vaccine, bro. I don't care what nobody tell me, bro. There's too many people who are fully vaccinated dying. Just don't make sense.
Correct. I mean, if you just use common sense, you don't need to be a doctor, a virologist, epidemiologist. You don't need to be any of those things or have any of those titles. All you need to know is that shit don't make sense, and the things that they're telling you don't make sense. Like, for instance, go get a vaccine, go wear masks, stay distant. Everybody who's doing that are becoming sick. I don't mean everybody literally, but there are a lot of people who have listened to the advice of the so-called experts and they find themselves fucked up.
Yeah, man. And what's more crazy to me is you steadily want to push this agenda of, you know, it's not as much now as it was before the beginning of 2022 as get vaccinated, get vaccinated, get vaccinated. But as we saw, everybody who got vaccinated turned around and got COVID. So now you come and you're pushing this booster. You're there's so much with this, but uh, from the stuff that I've been looking at, it's almost I think it's what we were talking about. They're trying to prepare people for this NWO, New World Order, stuffing this satanic crap down your throat, bro. Uh, Trying to, whether it be the chip between the forefinger or you taking the mark on your forehead, whichever way it comes, bro, it's what it seems like they trying to do, man. And don't get me wrong, you know, we love our b-ball and our football and stuff like that, but not to get distracted from the real issue, man. You know what I'm saying? Just really, you know, yeah, we love our teams, we love y'all, we love the, you know, the entertainment because it's real, it ain't fake. You know, these guys really out here putting themselves on the line. But in the back of the mind, man, like this whole government and justice system living off of maritime law, bro. You know, uh, we're voting, but our votes real are they really being mattered because of the control of the corporations and the elite? Um, United States of Alec, we're gonna put y'all out there. We ain't leaving y'all out. I just it all needs to be brought to the forefront, bro. Like it, you you can't continue to push something on us, and we understand that now it's all been a system of control. So you've been burning and pillaging our cities and our epicenters. You've stolen our, I guess you would say, swag a little bit, turned it to your own gain, or and then turned it against us a little bit because now look at what's happening, you know, in society. Uh, you know, black fathers not like they're supposed to be. Black fathers having a hard time unless you're part of the white establishment, going along with the status quo, being a kiss ass, in the
Exactly.
system, going along to get along. Fuck that.
Yo, did you
I've
choose
seen
a
that
place?
side.
No, let me ask you. Did you
Huh?
choose a place? Did you choose a place to stream this to? Are you streaming to Facebook, YouTube?
We on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I should have done the little $10 thing when it asked me to do it. It would have let me do all three of them, but I didn't do it when it was offered at the time. You know what
It's all
I'm saying? I
good.
should have. But you know how that shit go.
Exactly. No, I was just wondering because
But
my son and Shorty, they was asking me, where we was casting to. What's the YouTube channel?
I believe it's my Transforming Solutions site.
Okay.
I believe so. But I will
You can
definitely make sure
you can go into the comments, right?
what do you mean?
If you go into the comment section, you can type because you're the host, and you can post like
Right.
where it is streaming to.
Okay. So to share. So I see the little comment section to the right as I'm
Yeah.
looking at the screen where I
Make
can
sure.
type in a comment and hit.
Yeah. So just make sure you're not in the private comment.
Okay. How do I make sure I'm not in a private comment?
It'll say like private. Yeah, it should be there. There we go. There you go. Now post the YouTube link. So maybe in a new tab, go to the YouTube page where this is broadcasting to, copy that address and then post that into the chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in the new tab, go to your YouTube page where you're streaming to. Just copy that, come back to this tab, go to the chat, post it there. Just copy that, come back to this tab, go to the chat, post it there. Just copy that, come back to this tab, go to the chat, post it there.
Okay.
There we go.
I got it. I got it. My boy been working with this for a little minute.
There we go.
That's what I'm talking about. I got it. So now that we're past this whole, they want to call people terrorists for marching on the Capitol, when it is in the Constitution for the people to be able to say, hey, listen, you're not for what we're talking about, so we're going to remove you and step into or put people in place there, or for the people. You want to send people to jail, call people treasonous and all that. But
Hey, if you have
when
the YouTube channel up, close the YouTube channel out because I'm getting an echo. Okay, so go ahead.
right, okay,
Okay,
so
way better.
right, so how are people treasonous if it's in the Constitution for them to be able to do what they did? I'm confused. I mean, do I literally have to pull it up and show people the actual article where it says that? I mean, are we really to the point to where we're just going to say the Constitution don't matter? We're not going to respect the Constitution?
Yeah, correct.
I don't.
Right now.
Did you see that one video where the dude was trying to get into the government building and the sergeant showed up and said, "Hey, you were using your constitutional rights." He had the constitutional right to do what he was doing. I was like, wow. And the other police officer, like, you do 6 months of training. You don't even know the laws and regulations for what you can and can't do. Like, you want to give this man a hard time along with what security was doing in the building. But the man was expressing his, like, they are completely and totally, utterly disrespecting the Constitution, bro. And I'm one to say, listen, I'm not even believing in the Constitution because I know that this whole thing was founded, our people were killed over it, and you know, we need to really wake up and know the truth, bro. Like, it's not a government, it's a privately owned corporation here that stole land that belonged to our people. Those indigenous people were Africans, bro. For anyone to think that those rich, powerful nations, we created street lamps and diesel engines, and a black guy really created electricity. They just gave the credit to Edison. He's a white guy. Let's just keep it real. Open heart surgery. If we can do that, and we had all that, what we went through here with what you stole, and even there, before all of that happened, do you really think we didn't cross the seas? And like, you got to be crazy not to believe or think that. Like, come on, man. And now there's all this proof that's popping up. Got the huge heads that they found in Mexico that got the black nose on it. Um, what the Olmec people. Those people were black, man.
I mean, well, you
Like
know, I mean, obviously you just said a lot, so let's go through it. If we're going to start with January 6th, you know, the thing that the media keeps hyping up, let's just call that for what it was. It was it was a loosely guided tour of the Capitol building. Why do I say that? The Congress people were all at a different location, well ahead of the first person getting to the Capitol. So that's one. They were not in danger. Number two, these are white folk who love to play with guns. You know, all of them back home got a cabinet, a garage, a locker full of guns. They didn't show up there armed at all. You ain't see them let off no shots or nothing like that. So that right there should tell you it's not an insurrection. It wasn't anything that was violent. Two, you're going into the capital of the United States. If the government truly had advanced knowledge of some kind of, quote, insurrection, because they were embedded, the FBI, Vice magazine, I can't remember who the other publication was, but they also have reporters embedded within these groups. If you're telling me that they had these people embedded within these groups, the event took place, that tells you that they knew nothing violent was going to pop off. There was going to be no shots fired, is what I'm trying to say. So there's no reason to call this insurrection and or be or to be extra about the shit, you know. Three, the other part of it is that it's all political, right? All of it's political. It's about either getting you off one team, whether it be the Republicans or the Democrats, or getting you onto one. So either pushing you on one or getting you off one. The great thing, what they were able to accomplish politically with that was to say, look at all these Republicans, all these white folk, look at the terror they're causing, vote Democrat. I think voting for either party is nonsense and a waste of time. Like, if to say you're a supporter of one or the other, I mean, it's two wings on the same bird. They're not different entities. They just talk different and they dress different. Other than that, they're the same thing, right? With that being said, a lot of black people fell for it, and they're looking at it and they're like, oh my God, politically, I can never support the Republicans, even though I'm not advocating for them to do so. They're even more closed off to that side than they were before, right? And they're like, oh, look at all these racist white folk. Da 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 da. These people went for a rally. They walked into the Capitol. The police let them in. They opened barricades. I mean, use your common sense. An insurrection is supposed to go against authority, right? They said, oh, we're going to institute a curfew. Everybody was gone before the curfew. What criminal or someone who is knowingly breaking the law, who is going to adhere to a fucking curfew at 6 o'clock? You better get out of here. You're going to get in trouble already.
Yeah, if it was a serious and real insurrection, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. Oh, what happened?
Yeah, I don't.
What's up, G? Look at the comments. Look at Miss Variant in the comments, or whoever Variant is in the comments. You see that?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I know, but how about the lady outside the window telling them about her trap door in the floor?
about the trapdoor. I keep saying I know, but how about the? Oh, yeah. For the January 6th. Yes. There was some official there telling the so-called insurrectionists about where the trapdoor was. I believe that's what she's saying. With that being said, it just so many things about that day that you look at, that if you look at it from a nonpartisan perspective, you just see it's all staged. They let people in there. They made some people high profile with putting them in certain positions, Pelosi's office, in the in the main room. These people were there taking selfies. They didn't even destroy the place.
Yeah, they didn't do nothing. They didn't do nothing to harm it.
These are the people like who supposedly, quote unquote, they hate government, they hate Democrats, they hate all this shit. But they didn't go in there and piss on nothing. They didn't leave feces on anything. They didn't graffiti a wall. I mean, maybe they did minor stuff, but they didn't really destroy the place like they could have.
Nothing that they really talking about. We didn't hear nothing about that.
Correct. But these are all little things that people don't think about when they say, oh my God, there was an insurrection. I mean, if you hate all things, I mean, imagine letting kids into a high school, what they would do to a high school if they couldn't get in trouble. Man, they would be tagging up all over the place, making a mess. These adults would do the same thing. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's facts, son. That's facts.
You know?
I couldn't even express it more better than that right there.
Yeah, all this, all these things that happen, they are really, if you really take a step back and look at it from a this is not my dog, whether it's black, white, Hispanic, whatever. I don't have a dog in this fight type of perspective. That you're just a watcher, like the comic books. You know, the watcher, he doesn't get involved. He might feel away, but he's just watching. So when you take a step back and you just watch this stuff, you can see how a lot of the headlines and stories and commentary, social media messages are made to just emotionally get you worked up one way or the other. Either, oh my God, I love this, I need to defend it. Oh my God, I hate this, I need to destroy it.
Right.
You're
All to distract you from the main goal, though.
correct. So they've got you on this emotional spectrum, and you're not even balanced or still long enough to, like, okay, what street am I on? What's the cross street? Okay, cool. You're not even able to do that because it's constantly moving. So what we need to do when we're analyzing is look at it from a very neutral place. Take your dislike or like about the deliverer of the information. Whoever's presenting the information you may like or not like, right? Set that to the side. It's unimportant. Just analyze the information that is being presented to you. You can go look that up. Whoever said it is irrelevant, because then you can go from, yo, there's some truth to this, or there's some bullshit. That's the best way to do it. It's just too much, even with our own people, dog. Like, we too influenced by the bullshit. We too influenced by the New York Times, NPR, MSNBC, CNN. Our own people be just repeating shit they hear on there, and they think they're really well informed. God bless their soul, but they could
Yeah,
be more
yeah,
wrong
and
about
that be killing me. Yeah, yeah, you're right, and that be killing me, G. Like, really, I tell people all the time, and I promise you, bro, if I was the Bill Gates, I would literally take people on a trip and show motherfuckers, listen, go see it for your with your own eyes. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what nobody tell you. That don't mean nothing to me. Let's go and you can see it for yourself. So then you can sit back and tell me, okay, now that don't make sense now. Oh, I bet it don't. I bet it don't. Because now your logical brain, because of what your eye has seen, and I had a friend who told me, he was like, the eye can be tricked. Look at what David Copperfield did to people. Yeah, if you're a weak-minded person, if you're a person whose mind, you're not training your mind to be strong, to not just believe something. My mama taught me growing up, son, have your own brain. And I tried to train myself to have my own mind, not to go by what the world say, what not. I'm finna go find, if I hear something that interests me, I'm finna go find out myself the truth. I want to see it so that if I hear it in conversation, if somebody says they read a book about it, I actually have knowledge and information about it firsthand because I saw it, I touched it, I went into it myself. Um, I don't know if that was you or me talking about the space program. I was talking about that with somebody,
No, we was talking
and
about
that's
it
and this is
at the Super Bowl because I said they didn't land on the moon.
yeah. So I was watching this thing the other day. You look at these pictures. We see stars in the sky sometime, right? As they're up there, there's no stars behind them. It's like empty space. You see
They're never
nothing. That don't make
now.
sense.
Now that you say that, go back and look at all of the pictures from space that they have shown us over the decades. There's never stars,
Never, never. It's always empty, like empty space, a vacuum.
just black.
Nothing's ever. Yeah, pitch black. You never see anything. But then in the books and from the Hubble telescope, they show you all this stuff out here. Like, why don't you see that when the spaceships are up there and the astronauts are? Why didn't you see that when they were on the moon? Why didn't you see any of that in the background? That's something just don't make sense.
Correct. That's what I've been saying for some time. You know, um, uh, and look, it's like like a lot of other things, like we discussed on Sunday. There's a lot of things that we were taught to believe that are just outright lies. It's not even partially true. They're just like, it's like, did you go to work today? Yeah, and you didn't go to work. You know what I mean? It's it's not even close. Like I said, all the incidents that led into the United States involvement in military conflict, going back to the name the last several major conflicts, there was an incident that happened prior. They told us innocents died, and in every instance, they knew it was going to happen, allowed it to happen, or were part of the plan to make it happen. You can't believe much of what they
And
say.
there's proof backing all that up. There's proof backing your words up, bro. There's actual
Yeah,
proof backing your words up for every incident.
correct. And the things that they do in the theater of war is very nasty, but that doesn't, that doesn't make the major papers. But as I always say, too, I'm trying not to get off course. So never mind. I'll stay on course. Um, NASA is full of shit. They, I mean, you look it up yourself. You got to be careful on what you say on these channels too, because if you say certain things, you will be, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be pro. It doesn't have to be extra pro. It doesn't have to contain a lot of profanity, even though that will, probably get you in trouble if you go extra. So that's one profanity. Two, obviously nudity or any kind of physical interaction. You already know what I'm talking about. But
Listen, you already know we're here to keep it real and keep it. I love how Cam Newton say keep it funky, bro, because that we always say that keep it funky. We're here to keep it real and keep it 100. If we can point you
that's
to the direction of the information, we're gonna do that.
correct. Well, that's the thing is you can't be too real. You gotta speak in a lot of code. You gotta like say the opposite of what you mean. People have to read body language. They gotta read what the eyes say, how the mouth turns, all that kind of stuff. Because just outright saying, "Hey, 1 plus 1 is 2," depending on the topic, if you say that, as true as it is, you'll be removed. I mean, just let's look at Julian Assange. Homeboy just basically showed what the military was doing, and he's in prison, telling the truth, no lies. No one ever accused him of being a liar, and he's locked up, and he's been tortured, kept in the embassy. So his whole ordeal is nothing new. But I just use him because he's high profile to say that just telling the truth, depending on who hears it or how many people you can get it out to, you're a major threat. So now going forward, fast forward from that time to here, especially in the era of the Rona, you have to be very, very careful at what you're saying. If you say certain things, you will be removed from these platforms. And people aren't
That
trained yet. No, I was gonna say people aren't trained yet on the internet. There's a certain generation that's not trained yet to bounce around, right? So if you say, look, I'm not on YouTube and I'm not on this major platform, I'm not on Amazon or I'm not on Apple, I'm on here, this www.whatever.com. Oh, there's no app for that. I can't see it. I don't know. Out of sight, out of mind. Hopefully our generation and younger uses multiple outlets to view and take in information. That's the most important thing in this era, is that the information is out there. You just have to believe you can find it. And it's not about confirming what you
yeah,
think.
you
It's
gotta go get it. Yeah, you gotta go get that info, bro. You just can't take like I've read plenty of books. I know a lot of people have, but you just can't take that stuff for what it's saying in that book. If you can actually go to a place and find the truth in something, do that. Go see it for yourself. Don't just take that stuff, man. And what do your research. Do your research to make sure you know what's really going on out here. Somebody child done got kidnapped.
That means I'm gonna get one too. I ain't get it yet.
Yeah, I just got that through AT&T. Kid just got kidnapped.
Oh damn.
Well, look at here. You know what I'm saying? The craziness of the world, bro.
See, I just got it. Hillsborough County. Amber Alert.
Yep.
It just popped up on my phone. That's Tampa. Yeah. Wow. I just got it.
Listen, is that pedophile law thing still happening? Are they still trying to change that, or what's up with that? Is that still happening?
Where and what state?
This was I don't know if it was
Well, I don't know. I know California is trying to change some of their guidelines as it pertains to sexual offenders. I can't remember the exact specifics of what they're proposing now, but it's he's a Democratic congressman in San Francisco. You go look him up and you can search San Francisco congressman laws on pedophilia, some kind of combination of that. You'll find out, you'll see who he is, what he's about, and then you won't wonder why the proposed change in the law is being proposed. You won't have to wonder once you see. You'll just know.
Oh yeah, but in California, you're exactly correct. That's exactly where it is.
Yeah. But as far as nationwide, are there other pieces of legislation pending to do the same? I don't think so. Oh, well, I don't know. Not I don't think so. I don't know. We'll see. But I have a hard time believing that something like that would be even come to the table. Correct.
Yeah.
In like a Mississippi or Alabama, Texas, Georgia. Well, Georgia, I don't know because, Georgia different. Yeah. So maybe Georgia, but
wow.
Florida, everybody's on drugs, so no one really cares.
But it's just even the fact that you can even have a conversation about something like that, bro, is crazy. That you would even hear that there's even talk about something like that even going down. You know what I'm saying? I will tell you, man, growing up in the 80s, getting my butt towed up by my aunt, my mom, when you did something, we understand you want to say it's a different time and all that, but sometimes I think y'all wrong, and I think sometimes, and I had a discussion with somebody, he's like, I never had to hit my daughter. Okay, well, your daughter is something else. You know what I'm saying? I had good kids, but sometimes you put something on that butt. Sometimes. I will say, I think when that, and in the 60s, 70s, when they started instigating fathers out of the home, a lot of things changed at that point. And I also saw something where the
But you know,
conversation was,
we can we can say we can say like the system was designed to bring about this outcome, but individuals still had decisions to make too. So while we do know the system is fucked up, people had decisions, right? You know, women had decisions on who they messed with, men had decisions on who they messed with. Everybody chose to take the route they chose. um, what rule the government instituted afterward that made shit beneficial for the status for that status to um, continue, there still is like personal decision making at play there as well. We can't dismiss that. That's a huge part of it. You know, you can't be 22 years old trying to start a family, be in a serious interpersonal relationship, and you just got out of mom's house or dad's house or your parents' house. You're not ready for that.
yeah, not at all.
You need to
Not at all.
experience
You
life.
got to know about what
You know, so that's what
facts.
happens. People become engaged in these relationships. Sometimes children come from it, and the two of you had no designs on being together. It just happened. Like, everyone knows the story. Everybody's a statistic. Some of us are two-time statistics. You
Man,
know, not necessarily
I
a
was
bad thing.
saying, listen, decisions, my brother. Woo, woo. Boy, I wish I had made some better decisions, my G. But you know, you not to quote him too tough, but you gotta make those mistakes, have those failures in order to learn and push forward. You know, I guess I look at it now as maybe certain things were not meant for me because I was not able or capable of mindly handling those things at that time. I mean, I my military time, man. You know, the way it happened, the way I got out. Uh, I look at that and say, well, maybe that was forced because something was coming that I couldn't see, that I wouldn't be here right now to have the conversation with you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I ended up having a situation where I had freaking a crossbow and a freaking little freaking 9mm without no freaking safety put in my rib cage, son, because dude couldn't fisticuff. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy situation, man. You just don't know which way life gonna take you, bro. And that same thought process is decisions, man. You just decisions, bro. And I hear you. You got society, you got the right friends in their ear, or in your ear, even as an adult. Um, you know how we do. We don't put a lot of people around us because we don't like the backstabbing, talk behind your back. Even in places that I work, bro, I let them know, hey, listen, if that's something you do, I ain't for you. It's like vinegar and water, bro. You got your flavor, I got mine. And I learned from one of my friends. He was like, man, when you're going out for a job or whatever you're doing, he said, make sure not just that you're going for their company, but they're a fit for you, bro. That it works together, and that's in anything. I don't care in what you're doing, your business, whatever you're doing.
I mean,
Make
we
sure
watch
it's
what happens.
Huh?
No, I said we watch a lot of sports, so you see, there is a need to have to work together, to cooperate, to progress. It's not life isn't just golf or tennis. It's not just only you out there by yourself all the time.
Right. Right. Venus and Arena did play doubles and crushed it.
Hmm. Correct.
Mike Mike didn't win all them chips by himself.
Not at all. Contrary to popular belief, the Bulls had more than
Contrary
one
to
group.
popular believe that.
So,
Mike was the draw, but you wanted to see everybody else play.
so since we're at sports, let's go there. So, what are your thoughts
All
on
right.
LeBron? What are your thoughts on LeBron being the number one points leader combined?
Well, I, as far and that's postseason and regular season combined.
Correct.
So I mean, kudos to him, bro. I mean, kudos to him. 20, almost 20 years in the league, my G. You know what I'm saying? It's just now in the last couple of years since he hurt his groin that he's been not been that man. But even when he's healthy, he's on the court. He's in contention to be that man in the league. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta look at that cat and say, man, he's just a specimen. How he's kept his body, how he has maintained himself, uh, the consistency, efficiency that LeBron brings, man. Uh, there's no doubt in my mind that LeBron is the greatest small forward in NBA history, hands down, hands down. And you know, when we put our top five together the other day, I had two squads, but he's on my starting five in small forward, that's for sure. And that was a tough toss up between him and T Mac at small forward. That was a tough toss up.
Well, for like a lot of people will note, right? He's a pass first player. He doesn't look to he's not quite like Kobe and Mike where he's like, all right, I got the ball in the half court, like get out my way. You know what I'm saying? Come set the screen, whatever. We run in a give and go, whatever the play is, but the ball needs to be in my hands and I'm gonna try to score. The fact that LeBron is all right, I'll score if I have to type of player, I think that speaks volumes to the fact that he now leads in points in regular season games and playoffs combined.
But again, we always talk about how efficient LeBron is. We know he's never been a hot super 3-point shooter.
He's
Even
not.
his jump shot, he gained in Miami. But his efficiency has always been high. He's always been a high field goal percentage shooter. Uh, and that's all because he can get to the basket at will because of his
Mhm.
size, his speed. You know what I'm saying? So that's always been a thing. And then AD, when he got there, was like he's going to get on LeBron by this defense. But, ever since he was in Cleveland, his defense has never been mediocre. He's always been that get you from behind blocker. He's always been that guy. He's never been a guy to not give you something on defense. So we all know a lot of that has led to a lot of his breakaway and his dunks, alley oop stuff like that. So those are freebie points that don't even count in his field goal percentage range. You know what I'm saying? We're not even counting that. We're counting him as he's in rhythm and in what do we call it? He's in the playbook or
In the set.
or in the playbook. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I get
So
it because the you got a lot of players who look to score first. Like when James Harden gets the ball, it's probably 90% on his mind he's gonna try to score. Steph just the same way, right? Trey Young, etc. All these guys, Giannis, and there's nothing wrong with that. The fact that LeBron has so many points, and that's not his first option. That's saying something about him as a basketball player, and also the teams he was
Right.
on too.
Yeah, because he certainly carried that team that took on Tim Duncan into the finals. He definitely carried that team for
I mean,
sure.
look who, and they count that against him as if that was some um, like they blew it.
He went up against Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker. Yeah,
And you
you
lost.
blew that.
And you lost. Oh yeah, they're whack. I get it.
Nobody expected you to win that though. I mean, except for your huge fans who were like, "Yeah, he's just gonna run through Tim Duncan." Really? You really thought that?
But
These
as a
guys
basketball,
basically almost.
correct.
It's him and Karl Malone. Listen, you got Karl Malone, you got Tim Duncan, you got KG, you got some power forwards in there. But give your top 5 power forwards. Who are your top 3? Who are your top 3? Your top 2 are definitely Karl Malone and Tim Duncan.
It got to be just based on like the position and playing, and yeah, overall
And
at that.
again, no disrespect to KG. Dog did a thing. It's been some power forwards that we could give some respect to, but
KG
just
and
all
Barkley.
around Barkley. Throw Barkley in there. Yep, number 4.
KG,
Okay, I see you. Yeah.
KG.
No, KG's my number 3. So I got Karl, I got Tim, and then I got KG, and then I got Chuck.
Okay. This is not a bad order,
Yeah.
but you can't go wrong either way.
Yeah, either way. Either way, I'm taking it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. But
This new crop of guys, you were just talking about Harden and Steph. Them, at least that new rule keeps them from doing that floppy shooter crap they used to do. They ain't doing it as much this year, bro, which I love.
no,
Even though when Harden's driving, he's still.
Yeah, you already know. Well, it's made it better to watch because it was really just getting out of control. Guys weren't even attempting to hit shots; they were just attempting to create contact and then flare up and then go to the free throw line. So it got out of
Right.
control to the point it was ruining the game, killing the offense. At least now we saw Trey Young. He's still doing it, but he's actually trying to make the shot. That's the difference. If you're gonna do it, try to hit the shot. So now he's hitting it and he's getting a call. Now he's getting 3 the hard way or the easy way, depending on how you look at it.
How you look at it. Correct.
But
that cat, man, I picked him to take the 3-point contest. I think he's gonna take it.
Trey?
Yeah. I was looking at CJ, but I think Trey gonna take that 3-point contest, man.
I didn't even see who's in it yet. I'll look it up.
Your matchup, I've been looking up and setting up my stuff. I always got my stuff popping up, trying to do my thing with me some free Monday.
I don't miss an opportunity to talk about shit that really kind of irks me, and I like when shit comes up that allows me that. So, for instance, a lot of people be in this mental health, one way or the other. Like, oh, they're like that because they have mental health, or they're not like that because of mental health. People be bullshitting. And since we're on sports, mental health, I'm talking about like Ben Simmons. Mental health, and now all of a sudden you in Brooklyn, your face is showing, You good? Like, you got your chains on, you're sitting courtside, got your watch. You don't look you don't look all that down to me. And I'm not saying because you got mental health issues, you gotta be no, it's not that.
He ain't got no damn mental health issues. Stephen A. called him out. Stephen A. called
Every
him out. Now you know I'm not a Stephen A. fan, but he
yeah,
said the truth. He said now you're backtracking on what you said.
correct. And
So,
people
which is
on him the way they on him because of how he played. It's not because he said or did anything that was crazy. It was just how you played.
right. It was your play on the
Consistently how
field.
you played.
She said, talk about the announcer that spoke about it tonight.
Oh, yeah,
Which
so
announcer?
it was Van Gundy and Mark Jackson and who else? I can't remember, but Van Gundy kept it real. He was like, "Oh, mental health, huh? You look all right."
Hey, Van Gundy, though, you know he the realest one. That's our dude. That's my
So
dude. Van Gundy don't even play. He gonna keep it 100.
correct, which is why they be trying to. That's why they slap him on the wrist from time to time. But no, he basically, we're basically making the same point. And I said that to you from before. Like all of a sudden now, this dude got mental health problems. You know what I'm saying? And while in Philadelphia, son, they said you whack. You're supposed to come back and prove them wrong. They say you suck. You're supposed to be like, all right, bet, watch. You're gonna
Why?
be on my nuts.
Right. No, y'all, you went to crying. It was like, I want to trade. I got mental health issues. You showing up. You only reason you showed up because you wanted that check. They was taking that money out your pocket and you were broke.
He gave up a lot of money this year. Millions. Because he has a huge
Million.
contract.
They were trying to make sure they get some of that money back, my G. I ain't mad at them. You want to play this game? Hey,
Correct.
we got to get some of our cheese back.
Correct.
I ain't mad at
That's why
Philly. I ain't mad at
that's
Philly.
that's why they kept him as long as they did, because it was like, why trade him when we could just not pay him while he's here?
Yep. And we can find him and do other shit to take our money back.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
Then they finally got the trade. They've been trying to get James Harden. And then finally, you waited till the All-Star game to do the trade.
Because remember, he was with Daryl in Houston. So that just makes sense that he's in Philly. I don't know if it was the fact that AD was hurt, or I don't know what his issue was with Brooklyn. Maybe we'll never know. I don't know.
Listen, I'm still confused. You 1 minute you want to be there, and then the next minute you traded you out. Now you happy you out? Like, I'm confused. Like, you just talked to Reed and was like, "Yeah, I want to be here, Reed."
It still changes up the Eastern Conference a little bit, because Embiid but Harden has to go back to playing how he was in Houston, not this Brooklyn injured half-assed James Harden. Even though he wasn't playing terrible in Brooklyn, let's note that. Like, he wasn't playing he was still doing what he did, but he wasn't taking ownership of the games like he tried to do in Houston for those years he was there, because he was killing the league.
Yeah, he was MVP. Either him or Russell Westbrook every night getting triple doubles. And right now, I'm dying right now because of what's happening to Rust and the Lakers, bro. We were looking forward to that most excitingly about the season, and it flopped on us. And we're both sitting here trying to figure that one out. Like, I just don't know what happened with that, man. I think Ben Simmons with his defense and him not shooting. Just give him everything to the basket, dunks, stuff like that. His defense is great. But I think he's going to fit well with Brooklyn. I think it's going to be a problem. I believe that Philly should have gotten back 2 picks instead of giving up picks. But I think they just were ready to move on from Ben Simmons. They was like, man, just get him them 2 picks and let's go, man.
Yeah, they had to. It just becoming like how did they say it? Like an albatross around your neck, right? Just, all right, we got to get rid of this. It got to go. So he's out of here. So we'll see how that turns out after the All-Star break. I mean, we won't really be able to tell anyway until like April or so. You know, and then they start getting ready, trying to make sure they're in position to make the postseason.
Hey, y'all, don't think football's over. April, USFL starting up. I believe it's the The Rock brought the XFL. Snoop buying Death Row. Do you know who he brought it from or what his plans are for the label? Yeah, so that's interesting. I was just reading something about Snoop buying Death Row. He wants to make it NFT label, is what I was reading. So I guess he's trying to, turn the whole thing into NFTs.
Wow.
You read anything about that, Chris?
No, I didn't see that yet, but Snoop is Snoop is heavy in that space though.
He's already brought real estate. I'm trying to figure out how to get in and buy me some real estate.
Correct.
Yeah, he wants to be the first. He wants to be the first and biggest. That's what I was reading earlier. I'll find it where I read that at. Yeah, that was interesting. That's an interesting question. Thanks for that, Barry. That was pretty cool. But yeah, I listen. I'm so interested in that metaverse. I just want to get in so I don't miss out on the money. I don't really care about the rest of it. I just don't want to miss out on the money train. I want to get my piece of it. Because at the end of the day, like I told you, bro, y'all better get ready. You varied. I hope you watched Ready Player One, because that's what's happening. Me and my boy were already talking about they already buying real estate. You heard me say Snoop done bought his land. We were watching the other day. Dude sold a house, $600,000, and it was big dog.
645,000 NFT. A house.
There it is.
Property.
A house.
We gotta look at, we gotta look up cryptocurrency versus central bank digital currency. We got to look into that to see how this is going to work and to see who's going to honor what transactions based on what. That's a big question we have coming with the banks pushing their digital currency.
Okay, what was that question again? Ask that question again.
We have to look at cryptocurrency versus central bank digital currency. How is this going to work? What's it redeemable? Like just put it. You got to see what's redeemable. Who's going to accept what, when, where? I don't know yet. It was just something I was thinking about because I know the IMF is working with, strangely, mainly West Indian countries to roll out their digital currency program, and Nigeria.
I'm just looking on Google here, and I found something from January 24th, 2022, underneath fool.com. Let me click in here. Okay, so it looks like a central bank digital currency, CBDC, is a digital version of government-backed fiat money. So fiat money is hard, stone cold cash, right? The type of digital currency is issued by a central bank and tied to the country's national currency. CBDCs are most similar to stable coins, which are cryptocurrencies that are pegged to fiat money and attempt to maintain the same value. The main difference is that the world's governments issue CBDCs. Fire truck going through? More than 80 countries around the world are researching or developing CBDCs, and they're at various stages of the process. Some have
Correct.
inactive, canceled projects.
Look,
While
now
others,
I believe it's like Antigua, Bahamas, St. Kitts, where else? Dominica, and where else? I think there's like two or three other countries plus Nigeria that have a project underway under the guidance of the International Monetary Fund, IMF. You should look that up. They're rolling that out like right now, I think, damn near.
all right,
It's
so
not
here's one. This is strictly from, I'm going to get to that in just 1 second. So I just want to finish this up with the exact thing that you wanted. CBDCs versus cryptocurrency. So we now know that CBDCs are not cryptocurrencies. They're actually currencies from the government, right?
correct.
So
From the banks, from the same federal central banks.
right, which came from cryptocurrencies, but they're they're two totally different types of digital currencies. The key
Correct.
difference between CBCDs and cryptocurrency is centralization. A cryptocurrency is a decentralized digital currency, meaning there's no central party that controls it. The transactions are processed and recorded on a blockchain, which is a public distributed ledger. As the name implies, a central bank digital currency is controlled by a central bank.
Hmm. Correct. So it's going to be interesting to see which way the people go. One way clearly makes sense, one way does not. But, psychological warfare will continue and people will be led astray.
Well, they're trying to get in. Banks are now trying to get into it because they see where it's headed. They didn't believe in it or think it was real, but now they see that it's actually something that's going to take off, and now they don't want to get left behind. So
Correct.
they're not in control right now, but they're trying to do something to get in control or have some say so in this thing.
It's going to be interesting because they do have the ability to crush any kind of cryptocurrency if they really truly wanted to. Oh, so we'll see. Like most things, we won't know. I mean, we can try to guess and all that other shit, but like most things, we'll really just have to wait and see. We can predict certain things, but some of the finer details You really just have to go through the wash, and get it that way.
Yep.
That's the way you can get it to come out. Mhm.
Yeah, man. You're right, my brother. Listen, man, we've been on this thing a whole hour. I ain't gonna take up no more of your time, my G. Listen,
All right,
we're gonna
that's
do
what's
this
up.
same time, same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you, Variant, for chiming in. We're gonna have more stuff for you guys next week, man. We get deep, we get real, we keep it funky and 100 here on the C&T podcast. We'll see y'all same bat time next week, y'all.
All
Peace
right, y'all.
out.